Assalamualaikum. We from Group 6, we present a journal uh, titled Organizational and Environmental Influences in the Adoption of CAAT by Malaysian Audit Firms. So my name is Zainina Zulaika binti Zainuddin 255447, and this is the overview of this research paper. I'll start with the introduction. CAAT is a tool, a technological tool used by auditors to assist him in order to make audit paper or audit works. Next, the authors highlights the importance of CAAT. Basically, CAAT can lower the audit cost, at the same time increasing the audit quality. And then the CAAT mostly used in developed countries. This is because it has high implementation costs. So this research paper is to investigate the adoption of CAAT in Malaysia, a developing country. Next, authors explain the factors to adopt CAATs, which they come up with three main factors, which is environment context, organization context, and technology context. So we'll start with synopsis of this research paper. Before this, CAAT is being researched from individual level, not organization level. But it's undeniable that CAAT acceptance needs to be started from the organization. This is because the organization level, where the top management, we require their decision and their permission to adopt this CAAT in the firm. So it is important for us to know what factors that affect a firm to adopt a CAAT. So this is the journal factors why on CAAT to adopt in an organization. First is environment context. Environment context is outside of the firm, where it's beyond the control of the audit firm to control it, which consists of client audit accounting information system complexity, where if the client has complex accounting information system, it required the audit firm to implement the CAAT. So hypothesis 1 for this research is it is positively affect CAAT adoption in Malaysia. And then the next point is competitive pressure, where if the competition to adopt CAAT, to adopt technology in making audit work, so it increased the pressure for audit firm to implement the CAAT. Because we want the audit firm wants to improve their business system and then maintain customer satisfaction. Next point is persist level of professional accounting body support, where audit firm needs support from the bodies, from legal bodies to adopt CAAT. They need guidelines to implement this CAAT. And then The next context, the next factor is organization context, where this is within the organization itself, where it can control these factors. First point is firm size directly influence the adoption of CAAT. The firm size of audit firm uh, can affect CAAT adoption, because large firm tends to have more economies of scale that enable them to hire more employees and invest in technology adoption, and they can also afford training fees for the employees. Next is top management commitment. This is the very important factors, because we need support from the top management before adopting CAAT, because their support means their willingness to provide financial resources, financial support for the technology adoption. This will enable the successful adoption of new technology in the firms. And the last point for organization context factor, firm size moderate influence the complexity of client AIS on CAAT adoption, which means large firms more likely to have clients with complex accounting information rather than smaller firms. Because of this, firms more likely to choose a larger audit firm due to their capability to audit complex accounting information system, because only them can afford the CAAT in their organization. So for smaller firms, they might not be cost effective to implement CAAT. And then the last factors is technology context, uh, which is the use of the CAAT, the tools to use CAAT. Technology context in technology organization environmental refers to the features that can influence organization in deciding whether to adopt or not the technologies in their audit firm. However, in this research paper, TOE framework does not explicitly define these features. So, that is all the main factors what affects the audit firm wants to adopt the CAAT.
Okay. Hi, my name is Siti Sarah binti Azra'i. My metro number 256063. I will proceed methodology part. Basically, this research paper is about three month period, and the researcher distribute all the survey or questionnaire to all 1,667 audit firm that listed in MIA, Malaysian Institute of Accountant. Why they choose to use this listed from MIA? Because as we know, MIA is a statutory body that regulate the accounting profession in Malaysia. Okay, for this research, the respondent of this questionnaire is were audit manager, senior auditor, firm partners, managing partners, and all of them have average more than 9.5 years of experience in their current audit firm. Besides, they also have average about 12 years of audit experience that have in this table about the percent of the respondent that answer all the question. This is the percent for firm partner about 13.8%, managing partner 12.8%, audit manager 38.3%, and senior auditor 65.1%. Okay. Sorry. Okay. This study, for this paper, for this research, they use EM. We call it as expectation maximization algorithm that implemented in the SPSS software to infer the missing value. What is SPSS? SPSS is the short form for statistical package for the social science that was used by the various of the researcher for complex statistical data analysis. Basically, this SPSS is very familiar to the researchers. Researchers also do beside that, to analyze the result from the firm level, the researcher do average multiple response from the same firm to produce a single response. They also use intra-class correlation (ICC) to determine whether the response from the senior management in the same firm was similar or not. And lastly, they also compare the response from early respondent and the last respondent of the test to a test for non-response bias, and found they have no difference, which means this paper not significant to bias at all. Okay, we proceed to 4.1. 4.1 is about measurement of the variable. Basically, in this part, we have about three measurement variable. Okay, firstly, they have two different measurement of independent and dependent variable that were used in this questionnaire. For independent variable, they use bipolar measurement scales that was strongly agree to strongly disagree, while dependent variable scales endpoint were unipolar measurement scales that never use at all to for example, never use at all to intensively use. This technique, why use this technique? Because it can demesh method bias caused by scale endpoint commonalities. Secondly, the instruction of the questionnaire. The instruction of the questionnaire assure respondent that there are no preferred or no right or wrong answer for their perception about audit technology adoption. This method are designed because to reduce the respondent hesitation and bias in answering the questionnaire. And thirdly, is about the questionnaire will distribute to managing partner that I mentioned already in the methodology part, and senior auditor in order to obtain response from the range of respondents that represent the firm. This was done to minimize the common rater effect. Besides, they also use Herman single factor test to determine if common method bias occur in the study, which confirmed that common method bias was not a significant problem in this study. Which means they have not a significant problem in this study. Okay, what is common method bias? Common method bias is a measurement error that threatens the validity of the conclusion about the relationship between the management, which is independent and dependent. Okay, 4.11 is about measurement of dependent variable. What is meant by dependent variable? Dependent variable is defined as the extent of CAAT usage by the audit firm in the process of audit. Okay, since this study is about CAT adoption in general, so at the left of this slide have the table about the most popular CAT application. For example, audit, automatic electronic audit working paper, generalized audit software, ML audit modules, database, SQL search, and parallel simulation software. These are all of CAT application. For the measurement, this variable was adapted from the prior literature, such as a total product score of the number of CAT application adopted and extent of audit tasks conducted by utilizing this CAT. And the percentage of audit tasks conducted through CAT was assessed in 7 group range from 0 to 100. The 0 is means for never used, and 100 is means for extensively used, and it respectively labeled by 1 to 7. Then the response for each CAT application were aggregated to form a single item total score for the dependent variable of CAT adoption. And for the total score, this aggregate score is a robust measure to assess the extent of implementation and utilization of the technology adoption. The score of each CAT were aggregated to form a single total score for the dependent variable of CAT adoption.
Okay, so we proceed for this slide. My name is Muhammad Iman bin Muhammad Afandi, nominated 256180. Okay, this slide, I will explain measurement for control and independent variable. So what is this variable? The item for all construct except firm size. So were measured using a 7-point bipolar scale range, start from the strongly disagree until the strongly agree, 1 until 7. Okay, so for the firm size, the construct was measured by the numbers of the employees. Okay, next we proceed the data analysis technique. So the regression using the statistical analysis. So they using the PLS-SEM technique. So PLS-SEM technique, which P stand for the partial, L list, square, structural equation modeling. So this method of the equation is modeling, which allow the estimating complex cause effect relationship model with the latent variable. So this technique is useful for research that has a small sample size. So the technique is particularly appropriate in the situation where the data is less developed and the study is exploratory in the nature. So PLS technique has two sub-model. So the first model, I start from the measurement model. For the measurement model, present the relationship between the observed data and the latent variable. Later on, I will explain the measurement model. And the second one, the structural model. The model is the model present the relationship between the latent variable. So the structural model, my friend will be explain the details. So it is also suitable when the objective of the study emphasizes predicting and explaining the values of the main dependent variable by using a different independent variable. In addition, PLS-SEM technique can be used for the analyze continuous moderator, where CB-SEM is not possible. So these conditions are applicable to present the study as the main of the objective are to develop the model, then explain the CAAT adoption. So the research also analyze the moderating effect of continuous firm size on the influence of client eyes complexity in the CAAT adoption. Okay, next. Okay, there is a start with the result. So what is the result finding? Firstly, at the item level, cost learning of item what examine. See table 5. This is a table 5. Okay, table 5. Okay, they have four indicators to start complexity, relative advantage, employees IT competency, and person level of the professional body support PA4. Score below score below the acceptable standard loading of 0.7 and will exclude for the dependency. So what we can see here for the table 5 is the resolution only using the data above 0.7. So what we can see here above the 0.7 they using here and using here and this one above the 0.7. Then exercise perform this data using the measurement model and structural model testing. Okay. This for the measurement model. Okay. The table 6 show the convergent validity of the measurement model where the loading, composite reliability, and converge alpha of the all variable item were higher than 0.7. While the average will accept AVE value for all mutation were more than threshold of 0.5. Okay. For this data, uh, they using from the previous okay, previous slide. Okay, they using the above 0.7, what we can see here. Okay. Okay, then what is the conversion validity? So a parameter use a behavior of a size equal to a degree to which to measure of the construct the theoretical should be related are in the fact relates. Okay. Then discriminant validity to identify the each variable is the discrete for the another variable in the model. Access of both items at a construct level or cost loading using the funnel calculation and heteromonotic ratio of the correlation HTMT values. The square of the AVE for all pairs for construct were greater than the correlation between the construct to certify the discriminant validity test. HTMT values for all pairs of the construct were below the 0.9 threshold, result not shown, which demonstrate two constructs are the discrete for one another. What is the discriminability? Discriminability test whether the concept of the measurement they are not supposed to be actual unrelated. Okay, what we can see here result for the table 7 for the relation between the construct. Okay, next I will pass to my friend Pak Farhan to explain the next slide.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Noh Faris Farhan bin Usman. My metric number 252736. So I present about structural model. So previously we already looked at the measurement model. So structural model analysis was conducted to test our hypothesis regarding CAAT adoption. So we can see our hypothesis H1 is hypothesis number 1, H2 hypothesis number 2, and so on. So the hypothesis is from this factor TOE framework. This one stand for technology, organization environment TOE framework. So this is for environment variable, this for organizational variable, and this for technological variable. So as we can see H1, the p value, the p value indicates the uh, evidence that the hypothesis is strong and and it impacts on the CAAT adoption. So we can see when p value is less than 0.1 or 0.05, it means that it has significant impact on CAAT adoption. We can look at H1, client eyes complexity and perceived level of professional accounting body support have significant impact on CAAT adoption, except for competitive pressure, because the p value is higher than 0.1. This p value is calculated using SPSS. And then we look at organizational variable. So we have top management commitment, H6, hypothesis number 6, firm size, hypothesis number 4, H4, and employee IT competency. All these organizational variable, p value is less than 0.1 or 0.05, which is statistically significant. And 4 of the technological control variable, 4 out of 5, that is relative advantage, compatibility, observability, and tribability, all have significant influence on CAAT adoption except for complexity, because the p-value is higher than 0.1 according to SPSS calculation. So as we can see, we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H6, and H7. So we missing H5. So H5 is about moderating effect. That is the relationship between complexity client eyes and CAAT adoption. So it compare between larger firm and smaller firm, which H5 indicates that larger firm has many IT resources and many of their clients have complex ICE transaction. So their client tend to go to uh, a larger firm because they can audit uh, their complex transaction rather than smaller firm. So that is H5 moderating effect. So next I will go to the conclusion and discussion, the last part. So as we can see, most research on CAAT adoption is focused on developed country like UK or US. So despite its importance, CAAT adoption in developing countries is low, such as Malaysia. Two of the three environmental factors, client ICE complexity and PAB, professional accounting body support, were found to be significant determinants of CAAT adoption. No evidence to support the factor of competitive pressure. So previously we see that competitive pressure does not significantly influence the CAAT adoption because of the p value calculated by SPSS. So all three organizational variable, firm size, top management commitment, and employee IT competency were found to have significant effect on CAAT adoption. So, and also additionally, firm size has a moderating effect in explaining the influence of client eyes complexity on CAAT adoption. So previously I already explained about the firm size, where the comparison made between the large firm and smaller firm. So the result with respect to client eyes complexity, firm size, top management commitment, employee IT competency, observability, and complexity are consistent with prior study in developed country. Prior study means in literature review part, where all these results are the same with previous research. So did not find competitive pressure to have significant influence on CAAT adoption. This unexpected result for competitive pressure could be because the majority of the audit firms are smaller size firms that focus on the local area. Such as Malaysia, we have a lot of small firms rather than big firms. So this finding suggests that technological factors are negatively related to adoption when taking environmental and organizational factors into consideration. So next, this paper proposed two variables not examined in previous study, that is professional accounting body support and firm size, moderation of the client eyes complexity or moderating effect. So we have two variables that do not previously studied or researched by any academician or any researcher. So perceived professional accounting body support has a positive influence on audit firm CAAT adoption. We can look at p-value that is less than 0.01 or 0.05. So professional accounting bodies provide professional certification to members such as CISA, which helps auditor develop the IT skill needed to adopt CAAT. So this is some incentive to make sure that the adoption of CAAT increase in Malaysia. So it was also found that sperm size has a moderating effect, as I explained earlier. The comparison made association of client eyes complexity with CAAT adoption. Like for example, for smaller size, they have fewer or less IT related resource. Client eyes complexity has a smaller influence on CAAT adoption because they tend to go to larger firm because they has many IT related resource. They have many skills and expertise in IT. So while for okay, I proceed. While for larger firms with greater IT related resource, client eyes complexity has a greater influence on CAT adoption. So this research contribute to ICE auditing literature to providing evidence that organizational and environmental factors do significantly affect CAT adoption in developing countries such as Malaysia. This paper also make a unique contribution by modifying TOE framework, technology, organization, environment framework to study CAT adoption. And lastly, this research used the organization level lens to view CAT adoption, while previous research used individual auditor response. So it means that this research or academic, they use organizational concept or view rather than individual view. So that's all from me and that's all from us. Thank you.